Hello, Southwest Florida. We're so glad to get the executive director of the Community Redevelopment Agency for the city of Fort Myers. And she's been in that position, I think, over 5 years, or maybe 5 years. We'll get all that. We're going to talk to Michele Hylton-Terry right here at the Community Redevelopment Agency in downtown Fort Myers. Michele, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lee. Great to be here.
Go ahead. Has it been 5 years yet?
It's 5+ years now.
Really?
Yes, time flies, doesn't it?
Man.
We're into the 6th year.
But you know what? It seems like it's flying so fast because so much has been happening. From the moment you hit the ground rolling. And one of the reasons you hit the ground rolling is you already had some general experience in the area. Just kind of give people a little background on you and community redevelopment, and particularly this agency.
Sure. So I actually just celebrated 20 years with the city of Fort Myers back in August. And as you just said, now going on 6 years as the executive director. And we are always having so many projects that keep us busy. That's why the time is flying so fast.
Would you say that that's one of your favorite parts about the job, is that you always got new, fresh things on the road?
The diversity and all the different areas that we get to work in, and all the different areas of the city that we get to work in. MLK, which is our Dunbar area, Cleveland Avenue, our business corridor, and of course the downtown, the premier redevelopment area.
Describe the Community Redevelopment Agency as it relates to the city of Fort Myers. Are you a city entity, or are you independent from the city?
So the CRA, as we are referred to, was created by the city of Fort Myers to enhance the city of Fort Myers. And so everything we do is to improve and enhance the city of Fort Myers, to get the tax base higher. Those incentives that we offer is to attract developers to bring projects and make private investment in our redevelopment area. And of course, that benefits the city of Fort Myers because we are a part of the city of Fort Myers.
Right now, we're moving into a new fiscal year.
Yes.
And so this is appropriate for me to say to you, Michele Hylton-Terry, as the executive director for the city of Fort Myers Community Redevelopment Agency, what is the state of the organization?
Well, I am proud to say that the state of the organization is thriving. We have so much that we have done in the last year that we will be pushing into this new fiscal year. We've literally rebuilt this office. You know, Hurricane Ian destroyed our office and we were at the stadium for about 6 months. And we've been back in here for a couple months. But not only just the physical location, we've rebuilt our staff. We had a lot of transition last year. We've got a new deputy director of communications, a new position actually that was introduced in this past year. We have our new assistant director, Melanie Long, and you've seen her here on the show. And we've got a new redevelopment manager, Xavier Colon, who manages our various programs, the paint program, the commercial revitalization rehab program, and our home improvement program. So we've got lots of things going on and wonderful people that are pushing us forward.
And when I was moving around in here recently, I saw somebody, I think you call them the financial or fiscal something.
Our new fiscal manager is Lorraine Hayden-Bailey. She started with us about 5 months ago. Our previous manager relocated out of the state, and Lorraine has just jumped in with both feet, and she's doing a fabulous job.
Now, make sure, I know you said director of communication. I'll just call her name, LaShawn Collier.
Yes.
Sean, make sure your name is, I don't want to get an email. Okay, so one of the things that, because I've gotten the opportunity from a bird's eye view to see you and see the organization grow and get where it wants to be. Now you seem to have a lot of experts in their field, high-end people who got a lot of experience, which works out great for us as a city, right?
Absolutely. Last year when we had our strategic planning session with the Board of Commissioners, one of the goals was to really go out and seek the very best talent. And because it was the right timing, because we were at a point where a lot of positions were open, I was able to really go for the best. Dr. Long, LaShawn Collier, Lorraine Bailey Hayden, Xavier Colon, and of course, Denise Cruen, our senior admin assistant.
And you at the top, I see you more like a quarterback. You know a little bit about everything, and you direct that process. The future Well, let's go back for a minute. You mentioned Hurricane Ian actually hit your office. You guys were directly affected by it sitting down here in downtown Fort Myers. That being directly affected by it, that raised your sensitivity in terms of what other businesses were going through, other residents, and how the CRA can be impactful in the recovery process. Can you unpack that a little bit for me?
Yes. So because we were directly impacted, we felt the pain of what some of these businesses felt. We've allowed our commercial facade program to help repair some of those damage that was lost. The one that comes to mind for me is Maddie Shoemaker at the Veronica Shoemaker Florist.
ML King.
And she had just replaced her signage, and the hurricane took it down. So we were able to provide funding so that she could get a new sign. And we're working with other businesses that have had damage from the hurricane, whether it's the roof or their sign or just facade destruction. We were able to use our grants to support them.
People have to understand that these types of things can impact a small business, medium-sized business in tremendous way. We might think that they can just go and write a check, but when you have a city that's supporting and different grants and things like that, that goes a long ways, doesn't it?
It really does. And last year we revamped the grant program to where it's a 75-25 match, where the individual, they fund it up front, but we reimburse them 75% up to $50,000. And that was really designed for the small businesses that struggle.
McCullum Hall sits right there at the gateway to downtown Fort Myers and into the Dunbar community and East Fort Myers area, right across the railroad tracks. A lot of history there. Great entertainers perform there during the Chitlin Circuit discrimination, from Count Basie to Ella Fitzgerald to Louis Armstrong, maybe, and the like. It's been well documented. That location right there is, you have had your eyes on that location for quite some time, and you got some good news to unveil to us.
Understatement. I've been working on that for 15 years, but I am proud to say I believe we have the right developers on board, and they will revitalize, restore, rebuild. All the re's for McCullum Hall is happening, and we have new images of what it's going to look like. They have been in collaboration with us and with the Housing Authority of the City of Fort Myers, who also provided a $1 million grant to help support that revitalization. And so we are very proud of what they're working on. Recently, they came before the CRA, and because this takes time, it takes time for design, it takes time to get all the approvals. The project is the commencement got pushed out a little bit, and I don't want people to think, oh, it's not happening. No, this is your sign to see that it is happening. They're taking all the steps, the permitting, all the processes that happen behind the scenes that people don't know about is happening, and that's how we know that this project is going to kick off next year.
One of the things that I like about the project, amongst the many things, first of all, it's going to be a great catalyst for the ML King corridor continuing to do its development process. Also, we have a residential component to it, and you have the commercial component to it, where restaurants will get their opportunities on the various floors, but on the main floor, the various restaurants will have an opportunity to have their culinary experiences there. And they can go to the CRA website and get more information on that right now.
Actually, they can go to 38collective.com to get information on McCullum Hall, the food hall, what's needed to be a vendor in the food hall, and just to see the beautiful images of what it's going to look like.
I can't wait to have this television show there. The residential component of it, that lot right next to McCullum Hall that people are familiar with, sitting in front of the historic Dunbar murals there, is just beautiful. They're going to actually have a certain amount
26 apartment units will be developed there, and they will be mixed income. So this is another opportunity, while we're providing housing, to provide housing to support all demographics in our community.
When we take abandoned places in general, particularly in the CRA area. And we're able to turn those into revenue generating places, tax paying places, and all those types of things. What does that do for the city, and what does that do for the CRA in terms of accumulating money to put back in those same communities?
I first want to talk about what it does for our community. It gives us the resources to reinvest in our community, to provide those services that our citizens expect and that they need. And so revitalizing a McCollum Hall, revitalizing a vacant lot, getting that tax base built up, provides the city and the CRA with the tools and the funds to build up the community, to create a strong community.
What does the public need to do when they know things like this are happening? Particularly right now, we're talking about McCollum Hall. How can they get involved? I know they've had input into it, but just to make sure that that is a successful project.
Well, I would suggest that the public follow the Fort Myers CRA's website, our social media. We're always updating you on what's happening there. That is the best way to stay informed. And you're welcome to come to our meetings. The public is welcome to come to our monthly meetings. We meet on the first Wednesday with our advisory board, where they have very robust discussions about the programs and the activities that we're undertaking. And then the fourth Wednesday of the month, they're welcome to come and see the Board of Commissioners deliberate and make decisions that really impact them.
Talk about sustainability and the design of this project and other projects. What does sustainability mean when we hear that word?
So we definitely want to build and rebuild things that are going to be long lasting. We know that McCollum Hall was built in 1938. It really has stood the test of time, and really, even though it has gone through this downturn and needs to be revitalized, we know that structure, that facility, bringing back community will be there for many years to come for the future. And we really want to incorporate that in all the projects we do. Now, there are projects that the CRA funds, and there are projects the CRA undertakes. The Journey of Hope is a sculpture that's going in Veronica Shoemaker and MLK, and we hope to have that installation in the first quarter of next year. That is to give hope to this community that we are rising up, and that will be sustainable, along with the gateway feature that we're incorporating at Fowler Street and MLK to welcome folks into the downtown and into the River District.
That's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
The one can look to Clemente Park, where the Black History Museum sits, and see how the CRA impact the community in a tremendous way. When you pass that park now, I remember back in the old days,
Yes.
what it looked like, and now what it looks like. How does that make you feel, and what should people take from looking at that revitalization of that, making Clemente Park like it is today?
Well, that really should be the goal for all areas of our community, all the redevelopment areas. We want to make them a place that people want to come and enjoy. We want to provide the goods and services that people need. We want to develop not just Clemente Park and not just parks, but businesses. We want to have a thriving corridor. We want to provide the services, and the CRA uses its incentives to attract those businesses that will bring that to the community.
Longtime city councilman Johnny Streets has announced that he's not going to be running again. He's also a part of your board, commissioners for the CRA. I know you didn't know I was going to ask you this question, but I want to get you on record to say, as he finishes out his term, what he has meant to the CRA, to the city of Fort Myers, and his contributions.
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. Commissioner Johnny Streets has been an advocate and ally that I've worked well with for many years, and I'm truly glad for him, but sad to see him go. He has spearheaded, most people don't know that he's responsible for the $500,000 grant we got for McCollum Hall when we did the exterior improvements to the front of the property. When he gets behind something, he will not stop.
Shout out to Johnny.
McCollum Hall, he's been an advocate for Toll's Garden. When he believes in something, and I can say he has shown me that favor, and I am grateful for having had the opportunity to work with him, and look forward to working with him in a different capacity when he's not in office.
As a public servant, he has served us well as a sergeant as well with the police department, and now he's getting kudos from everybody who's gotten a chance to work with him. Shout out to you, Johnny Streets. Also, I see you're wearing what I could consider kind of reddish. You're a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I haven't had you on the show since you last chaired the peppermint ball that was outstanding a couple of years ago. And you're chairing it again this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I am. I'm very proud of that event because it does allow us to provide the programs and scholarships for our youth.
Mm-hmm. The peppermint ball has become a staple in the community. Can people still get tickets now?
Absolutely. Contact your favorite Delta and we will get you tickets.
Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Well, Michelle, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Lee, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thank you for being here with us today.
All right, you got your accommodations have just been outstanding, the way you've hosted Lee Pitts Live. I've been to a lot of places, seen a million faces, had a lot of hosts over the years for this television show. And the Community Redevelopment Agency for the city of Fort Myers is number one.
Thank you.
As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Michele Hylton-Terry and all the fine people here at the Community Redevelopment Agency for the city of Fort Myers. And remember, Miami may have the oranges, but the city of Fort Myers has got the
juice.
They got the juice. We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.